Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, Steve.
I'm not sure you can say that unless you're a rapper.
I see what you've done there.
Yeah. Is this our Christmas special then?
Yep.
Oh, I would have...
I guess it kind of is, because Christmas is going to happen between now and whenever we do another show.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And what would you like for Christmas, little boy?
Peace across the... not the whole world, just in my own house. That'd be lovely. just in one room.
There's some things Santa can't do. But yes, welcome to the show where we as comics solve yours and the world's problems. We've been successfully doing it as our viewing figure show since 2020.
Yep. I mean, and the great thing about this show is that both of us, we work in the world of comedy, and if ever you mention it, everyone says to you, God, why are you still doing that? Which is resounding endorsement.
I think what we're going for is the longest running project to come out of COVID in its original format, just slightly higher definition than anyone else. So if we can do that, that's something.
We're trying to outlast long COVID. If we can still be doing this show when absolutely no one has symptoms anymore, nailed it. That's what we're doing. That's the goal.
Just until the next pandemic, and then we'll stop.
Yeah. Do one of our other ideas.
But so we got some news stories to tackle. But first, we need to tackle your wardrobe decisions today, Steve, because if anyone's seen the last few weeks of shows, Steve's been looking like shit. Yeah. And it looks like you've stepped up to the mark today.
I'm back, baby. I'm back. Don't get me wrong. I've still got a bit of a sweat on. Which is weird. It's been so cold recently, but now it's not freezing. The shed's warmed up. I bought a Wi-Fi enabled thermometer so that when I'm in the house, I can see what temperature the shed is. And then remotely via Google Nest or whatever, turn on the heating in here so that when I come in, it's normal temperature. But this sweat is not because the heating's that good. Yeah, I'm still a bit ill, but I'm sick of being ill. I think it was 3 in a row. Because without being too graphic, but I will be graphic, so I don't know why I prefaced it with that. You know, when you get ill, you have clean snot, and then as you start to recover, your snot thickens and then goes a white to a yellow and maybe even darker. I had it revert to clear 3 times. So I think that was I kicked off 3 things. And I'm just sick of sitting around looking ill all the time. So I think maybe this is just, maybe I'm just old. Like everything aches and I've got some wrong with my nose. I just go on like this now. This is my life. I yet again apologize to everyone who's paid for a voiceover over the last 3 weeks. Oh, they've been terrible. Still been taking the money.
Yeah, definitely got to take the money, especially for the voiceovers that you do for Chinese tanks.
I no longer do the Russian stuff. I did one for the United Arab Emirates. I say one. I did a project that was about 20 voiceovers. And actually, have we talked about this? I am the voice of how to teach taxi drivers over their basic English to communicate with the people in the back who speak English. So,
did you do it all in the radio voice?
That's right. So you get in the back of a cab over there. Hi, where would you like to go?
I hope that you did do that.
No, sadly, no. For the last 3 weeks, it just sounded like I was in that Tunes advert, Return to Dodderdom. So I'm all blocked up, so everyone's going to sound like they've got nasal problems. So anyway, that's me. While we're dealing with our appearance, while we are reducing everything to our physical attractiveness.
Yeah.
What's going on with us? Can I guess what happened with the spot?
What spot?
Previously on this show, Eric had a spot that was so... It was like a 3-person show for a while. And now it looks like the innards of it exploded and it was a tiny little alien. Like when James Hurt kind of...
That's pretty much it, yeah. No, I because, you know, as a
John Hurt.
I'm a 50-year-old man who shouldn't be having spots anymore. But I handled it the way a 50-year-old man should, and I picked at it and picked at it until it just metastasized into this injury on my forehead, which was fun because on Saturday I took a night off of comedy and went to a friend's birthday party and met a lot of people that I don't know and had that on my forehead. But believe it or not, wasn't constantly thinking about it. And then people were like, so what happened to your face? I was asked by 4 different strangers, like, did you bang your head or something? And I was like, no, I just had a zit. Like, why would you ask that?
Well, because it might have been a cool story, because it looks more like the story's going to involve an air rifle. Like the dog turned the air rifle on me and shot me with it. That story's been happening in the news a few times. So,
like a Christmas story back in the day. You'll shoot your eye out. You'll shoot. And if you haven't seen that Christmas film, it's the best Christmas film of all time. Although last week someone did. I've just gone blank now on who it was. Oh, Martin was kind enough to. I don't know. Did you see this?
no. Well, I might have
On
done.
Twitter,
Remind me of it.
Martin fixed this. Did a screenshot where he fixed my forehead and took the spot away.
No, I miss that. I've been terrible at social media recently.
I'll send you the link. And I don't. Can you put it up on the screen if I send it to you?
Yeah, maybe. Let's give
There
it
we
a
go.
go.
We could have planned this beforehand. I put
Which
it in
way
the
have you
chat
sent it
for
to me, by the way?
the chat for
Oh,
Skype.
it's flipping Skype.
Or I can send it to you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, send it to me via WhatsApp. It's
Okay.
bloody
We
Skype.
planned this show out really carefully. We storyboarded it and everything.
There we go.
But yeah, so thanks, Martin, for doing that. Appreciated it. I wish you could have been there with me on Saturday.
What, going around
Could've put some-
airbrushing your face?
Put some concealer on or something. But if I'd put makeup on, that would have been obvious as well.
Yeah. There we go.
Look at that. Spot be gone.
Actually, yeah. Didn't get rid of my stupid hat though. Could have helped.
Could have.
God, we look
could
an
have
absolute
added some
state.
hair or something.
Well, that's why I wear the hat. You don't have to. You couldn't tell I didn't have any hair. All right. Turns
So
out
there
a
we go.
notification.
So-
Who's that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's healing. It doesn't hurt anymore. But it's. I could just do the show like this. Like I'm thinking.
Mm. Yeah, but if you make it look like you're thinking, you're gonna have to change the kind of comments you add into the stories.
Ouch! That's
Still
what I
got
get
it.
for making a hair reference, right?
Still got it. Still got it.
All right.
So, shall we
Let's
crack
start.
into some news?
Yes.
There's only one story in town. We're both very excited about it. And I don't know if you spent your weekend doing it. I barely moved because of excitement. It was the World Cup final. Play the jingle that I finally found on a different hard drive.
Sports. Sporty sports. Sports.
Sports. We're into sports. You know, this is the show that loves the sport, and it was the World Cup, the most exciting bit of football you will find. And I mean, I could barely move. I ordinarily am not that much of an expert when it comes to football. And it was Argentina versus France. And I didn't know which one I was meant to be supporting, which one people thought would be a good team. So I said, oh, I hope the team that wins are the one, that country that we've had a bit of a issue with in the past. You know, not just with football, but also that war. And if you like that comment, you were very relieved about the result. Argentina versus France. Absolute excellent. We've got a headline here from yesterday's Daily Express. Surely the greatest final ever. Yes, Daily Express, I can honestly say I have never seen a better World Cup final than the one that happened. Also, didn't watch this one because it doesn't really affect me in any way at all because, and we've mentioned this before, that when I don't watch the World Cup, normally people think, what's wrong with you? You should like football. When I don't watch the one in Qatar, it's a protest about the human rights records and the treatment of women and gay people and whoever else that they don't particularly treat well. And when I don't watch the Women's World Cup, apparently I'm a bigot. And how else do you think I got that job on that TV station? So I didn't know the result. I can't even remember who won now out of the two of them. I was speaking to a mate saying, like, give me some info that I could use to make it look like I know what I'm talking about. Like, who was the man of the match? And he said it's Messi. Well, if it's going to be a complicated answer, I don't want to know about it. So I don't know anything about what happened with the football. I do know something about the results, of the way that it was reacted to. For example, if we go to this from the Daily Star, an Argentina fan celebrated the World Cup win. Argentina won. Don't know if you knew that. And by whipping their top off and showing their boobs.
We did catch that live when it happened.
Did you?
Yes.
So it
I
was
there
worth
with the
watching.
kids, the family, and we went, was that?
Huh.
Yep, that was the shot that I saw.
Oh, excellent. I mean, they've blurred it out a little there, I suppose. They do in the day. It's weird that the Daily Star used to show actual boobage in the newspaper, and they blur it on the internet. There's loads of comments that they talk about here. You can see someone said, a beautiful moment. What's sports all about? Terrible grammar, but a big fan of boobs there. What a game, and fair play to the Argentina lady who got her boobs out at the end. A second joked, "Is that a joke?" However, a third wasn't too impressed with how he found out, saying, trust my 11-year-old son to spot the boobs out at the World Cup. Well done, Argentina. Doesn't sound that annoyed either. Really, this newspaper is describing a lot of emotion that I'm not seeing from the tweets. If we go there, we can see even more. There's the actual video of it. There's another picture there. Very pixelated, that one. I guess you could see some nipple in it. And it's all a bit of a laugh, isn't it? That by celebrating, she whipped off her top, and it's just something to talk about. Of course, it was in Qatar, so she's now dead. That is the problem with it. You got to be.
You didn't go with the she's in jail. She's in trouble. No. You just went, she's dead.
She's dead. Because she's actually been threatened with jail, so it wouldn't be untrue if I hadn't have gone for the...
Has she been threatened with jail?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Apparently. Well, it's not fair enough, is it? I don't think it's fair enough. What are you in for? Get my boobs out? No. Some of the comments on the comment section were actually quite good, but some of them are a bit harsh as well. But someone said the bloke behind her had bigger ones than she did. That's harsh. Oh, that's harsh.
I take that.
But what was it like when you were watching it live? Because, I mean, if they'd have warned me that there may be scenes of nudity, maybe I would have watched.
Once I saw that image at the end, I forgot about the game. But no, it was a good game. It was actually decent football, as much as I understand soccer. It was a good match. It was exciting, and there were comebacks, and then there were passes and good plays and scoring.
Yeah.
And it seemed like every time they cut to one of the players, they were holding one nostril and blowing boogers out of another. We saw that like 4 times.
Great, yeah.
So the boobies was kind of a relief, but I would imagine they were covered in snot.
Oh dear. Shiny though. Speaking of which, still got that going on.
But I think it was exciting.
What was the score?
Well, it was a 3-3 draw, and then Argentina won in penalties.
All right.
So I guess it still goes down as a draw, but a win, which I don't really understand.
No. And
they don't add the penalty score on, so it should be like 7-5. But I don't think they list it that way.
Yeah, they never do. Did anyone use their hands? If the one thing I know about Argentina.
Well, they did when those boobies came out.
Hey. But it was for me an absolutely blissful day. I was looking after the lad all day. Didn't even notice that football was happening until my phone told me the result, and I was like, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I heartily recommend it. I really enjoyed that World Cup final because I was playing with my son, watching episodes of Star Trek Prodigy.
Nice. He's a fan.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Well, I just didn't realize that when they said it's coming home, they meant Argentina is the home of football. That phrase I thought meant England, but apparently not.
Yeah, you're right. They should have thought about that. Yeah. That everyone goes home at the end of it. So in many ways, it always goes home. Football.
It does. But I wonder how the Falklands feel about this, if they feel like they've won the football, because they're sort of Argentina adjacent. So do they claim this as a victory for them as well? Probably
not. Something tells me no.
They're just there.
Yep. And there's that strong argument that geographically it feels like it probably should belong to that part of the world, in the same way that if Argentina owned the Isle of Wight, we might have some beef about that.
Would we?
Well,
I mean, they can have the Isle of Man. Let's give them that.
Yeah. The Isle of Wight's got Blackgunshine and the other things that are there. No, it's just that. That's all it's got. Yeah.
Let's give them that Isle of Man, and then we could trade.
Yeah. Cows. Yeah. Not trade cows. I mean, the Isle of Wight has a place called Cows. Isle of Wight puns. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. New show concept. All these new show concepts we've been coming up with lately. Are we done with the football?
Yeah, oddly enough, I got nothing else on that. And most of that was about a woman who whipped the top off.
I'm going to have to go back and make sure I saw that completely. Well, my story is very exciting, and this is a little bit of a pre-record, so there's a little bit of guessing in what we've done here. But what I was excited to see, it was breaking news as we went to record, is that Donald Trump, the Congress, which has been investigating the January 6th insurrection, has put forward criminal charges recommended to the Justice Department about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has stepped forward and said that he admits all wrongdoing, and that he's apologized for everything that he's done, and he is promising never to run for president or elected office again, and to not ever appear in public. I'm very excited about that. So it's breaking news. I'm sure everybody's been talking about it all day because obviously this is a slightly delayed record. But yeah, big news.
Mm. Can we get the banner up at the bottom that says breaking news? Can we get the breaking news banner?
Yep.
Breaking news?
Yep.
No?
You could do the sports one again.
Could we do the sports one?
No, don't do it.
He says,
don't
do that. No, okay.
Now, of course, some of that might not be true.
Oh, fake news.
So I think the part that is true is about the criminal referral, but the rest of it's all a lie.
Still.
Oh, criminal referral. Sorry, the witch hunt. That follows what obviously the Russia hoax and the perfect phone call is all a lie. Donald Trump is totally innocent, and it's totally unfair. And I feel like we should stop persecuting the man. He suffered enough.
I think there was the perfect phone call, the witch hunt, the Russia. What was it? The Russia
hoax. Russia hoax.
And there was the definitely not mushroom-like penis. I seem to remember that was a thing.
That was a thing. Yeah, definitely no problems with the downstairs. I seem to remember that in a presidential debate where a presidential candidate who eventually won basically said, "My junk is big," on national television.
It's not about the size of the hands. That was the lesson we learned from that, isn't it?
Yep. That was Jesus Christ. So it's not a very good week, actually, for Donald Trump, which is a good thing. We might be getting to see his tax returns later on in the week because they're in another House committee. And the U.S. House that is currently in session ends at the end of this calendar year. And the control is switching over to the Republicans, who are planning to investigate Hunter Biden's laptop because it had porn on it, and rather than the insurrection, which tried to overthrow our government. So these investigations have to wrap up quickly. So that's why we're seeing criminal charges now referred, and the release of a report that it apparently is going to have 8 or 10 chapters on the insurrection. It's going to be longer than all of the Game of Thrones books put together.
Nice. And
but it has more sex with Donald.
Little mushroom hands.
Yep, mushroom hands. And the tax returns might get released by another committee that has to release them this week. So it could be exciting. It could be fun. I'm looking forward to reading those tax returns, which is not a phrase I say very often.
But yes, there's the Donald Trump stuff, and in the future there's the Hunter Biden stuff. Look, there are good people on both sides. They're both
good
really
fascists.
big issues. Yeah. I mean, come on, you don't even know the guys. That was the weird thing about that as well, was it? I know we've just got off on a tangent. But of all the ways to end up defending a bunch of fascists was to say kind of like, hey, you don't even really know them.
Yes.
It's a double down. It's managing to say the wrong thing and totally get yourself in that group. Like, come on, these are my buds.
It was like Ye a couple of weeks ago saying, look, people focus on all of Hitler's bad things.
Yeah, they do, don't they? It's probably a good bit of advice, that, Ye.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess the other fascist I wanted to talk about was Elon Musk, where apparently he lost his own Twitter poll where he said, do you want me to remain in charge of Twitter? And he lost by 57.5%.
Wow, which I would have said is close, but then Brexit happened and now we've had to relearn numbers.
So how do you feel about that? Do you feel bad about Elon Musk saying
no? I think it would be good. He should follow the poll. He shouldn't be that hands-on. Whether he should own it or not, this is someone who's been really successful at certain businesses and seems to have a mind that could help society develop electronic cars. Electric cars. And they are electronic, but the power is electric. Electric cars, brilliant. Going into space. Yeah, why not? These are the things that could be for the betterment of mankind. And he seems to be spending all of his time paying attention to who's pretended to be him on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather him be deployed in other areas. Not that it's up to me. He's the billionaire. He can do whatever he wants. But he did kind of imply that he would follow the Twitter poll. So this is why you should never ask the internet for anything. Has he not learned? I mean, for someone who owns Twitter, he should know a bit more about what Twitter's like.
Yeah. When you lose a poll on a site that you can manipulate at any time, it's not like he couldn't have just logged in and done like 50,000 votes the other way or whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh, one of my favorite things to do on Twitter is to go around all the various media outlets, then you know which way they want those polls to go and just deliberately vote for the other one. Just so they have an annoyingly weak, well, it turns out quite a lot of you don't like Brexit. Oh, I love doing that. That's all I use Twitter for at the moment. Just, do you think that they are trying to cancel Christmas? Of course they don't. Click. Feels good.
Got to get pleasure where you can these days.
Yeah, it's my only joy. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that.
Exciting times.
There's a couple of, if we've got the time, I think we've got time for them.
Yep.
The Daily Star.
Ah, the Daily Star.
Let's see what's been happening on the Daily
Our
Star.
official non-sponsors.
Yeah, if they want to send us some money, that'd be great. Or just at least a free copy. This is Monday's Daily Star, has the headline, Move Rover Fido. Very confusing headline, but the idea is that you shouldn't sleep with dogs anymore.
What?
Because if they get under the covers, then they can overheat. And, I mean, that picture, again, makes me feel like the dog's temperature is not the most threatening thing that is happening here.
Is that Elon Musk?
No, it's a Labrador.
No.
Hey, we've still got it. You know what I mean? We can still do it. We can still do it. So basically,
We don't write any of this in advance. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? But as we go deeper into the newspaper, see what it has to offer. There's actually the stories that are around. Normally, they're all sex-based, aren't they? From the Daily Star.
Mm.
They're a bit different today. There's more of a grossness to them, more of a moribund feel.
It is
They talk
Christmas.
about death stuff, basically. Even you can spot death in the story about the king that reveals the first Christmas card the king sends will be a tribute to the late queen. And actually, that's quite nice, but still got death in it. But and by the way, my Christmas cards that I send this year will also include a tribute to the late queen, because I still need to use up those stamps. The other story that's in here, oh no, I didn't even copy that one in. Maybe it's just that one. So we can then go. Oh, sure, there's another one. Sure, there's another. We can then go to some of the stories breaking on the website. If we go into here, Spanish lag carves Christmas decorations of Kate, William, and Queen with their bums out. By the way, before we show you the pictures, it's Kate, William, and the Queen with their bums out, not the lags were carving it with their bums out. That would be difficult. I've never tried to carve anything with my bottom, but I imagine it'd be difficult to do a sculpture. And there we go.
Oh.
There's that one. And see some more pictures.
Not something I expected to see today.
No? Oh, there's loads on there. Oof, imagine the state of it. And I was just thinking, this is the perfect gift. If you don't know what to get Meghan, I think we've finally sorted that out for you. Before we move on, did you watch any of it?
The documentary?
Yeah.
No.
I'm
trying. I mean, I don't need to watch it because I've got people out there in the media who are royal commentators who watch 2 or 3 minutes of it and then comment on the whole thing. So I don't have to.
Yeah. Do you know that every so often we crop up in various TV outlets and some of them might have, a lean one way or another.
Yeah.
And I thought, because I go on there, I'd better watch the darn thing. I was on there on the weekend. And one of the guests, while he was talking about the story, said, I saw like 1 episode. And then the other guest, I said to her, have you watched them? She watched 1.5. I watched all 6 hours. Oh, I watched them all, thinking I had to be on the telly. Everyone else has just skimmed it. Oh.
Steve, you don't need to be informed to give an opinion on something. I would think the last year in media has taught you that much.
And the weird thing about life in general is that if I know your opinion on vaccines and maybe a little bit of opinion on climate change, I definitely know your opinion on trickle-down economics and what's happening with Meghan. It's weird, isn't it? That you can get this one thing and you go, I know where you stand on the Rwanda plan. It's bizarre. So you're right. You don't need to watch any of this. You just know, oh no, my position is I have to totally believe 100% of this. Go for it.
It's like, I can't think of the right movie reference, but it's like maybe Home Alone is a good one where he's got the trap that all the things happen and then the iron falls on one of the bad guys where you just knock over one thing. So anti-vax, pro-Rwanda. Here comes Meghan.
Here comes Meghan.
Jeremy Clarkson's just misunderstood.
But I think there's wrong on both sides. Like I think there's wrong on both sides because I don't like people. But so I watched there thinking these people, they are insufferable and the press is ridiculous. It's not like, I don't know why you think you have to pick a side. You can hate everyone. Don't limit yourself. Dream big. That is true. If you watch any of it, and I wouldn't if I were you. But I do love the fact that Harry a bit, but definitely Meghan. And it's great if you love it. I'm not saying it's too harsh, because I daren't say anything in case you think I'm I think something about Rwanda. But they do speak in sentences that should be sewn into cushions. They are so pithy if you believe it will become true. And sometimes you need to believe in yourself. All this kind of stuff. We watched it, and every so often I just kept going, put that on a mug. And that was my catchphrase. So there you go, a little drinking game. Watch 6 hours of it.
Put it on a mug, mate.
Yeah, put that on a mug.
That sounds like it could be a threat as well.
Should be. We've got elsewhere in the news. Oh, this is in the news. They've done a special inside Gary Glitter's pedo Alcatraz because he's being released, apparently,
Right.
having served half of his time. And look, some people are saying it's actually right that he should be released because having him in prison is worrying because I don't know if you know, but he's apparently a member of a gang. The next one, that's all I've got on that one. You got any thoughts on that one?
I barely know who Gary Glitter is.
Do you know the song, Do You Want to Be in My Gang? Because if you don't, I feel that last joke was wasted.
Oh. Yep. Didn't know that. I've only known him during his pedo era.
Right. Yep. And I suppose now it's very hard to walk into a record shop. Have you got any early Gary Glitter? It feels like it's worse somehow.
Well, let's see how it's aged.
Sometimes I'm not taking the bait. Then also, I think this is the last one we should talk about. They are trying to deal with politics. It's still a bit grim, though. Liz Truss should launch an OnlyFans page after getting the boot from Number 10, says a sex doll firm. And they've mocked up a picture there. And
that's not something.
Yeah.
How is the sex doll have a better flesh tone than she does?
That is worrying, isn't it? That is a reason to nip down the doctors. I'm not sure she should go for OnlyFans. I actually had a little look on the website, and the username of Trickle Down has already been taken. So, and you're up to date.
And Merry Christmas to all. Oh dear. So, big Christmas plans?
No.
Wrap up the pre-Christmas?
Yeah, no real big plans for Christmas because, trying to get as much work as possible because it's been difficult to get work done, but mainly just hanging around, just spending time with the kid. I've not told him about Christmas yet because he's not even one, so, because when it starts, it's going to be a pain. So let's just pretend he does not want to know, is he? There is nothing I can not do this Christmas that he'll remember and hold against me, so...
You'd be surprised. Cells have memories.
Oh. We don't have time for the full rant. I'm now noticing a lot of people are using quantum mechanics to back up their spirits and consciousness is special. And that's my need. You know, I used to rant against the homeopathy people online. I used to get into little fights because my theory was there's no harm, no foul. If you upset someone who's into homeopathy, what are they going to do? Poison you with such weak poison that you will never even notice. Whereas now so many people are saying, entanglement means that your brain can affect something else across the universe. No, it don't, but it's no point trying to explain it.
There we go. We didn't even talk about the whole fission fusion thing that happened last week.
Yeah. It's not that fancy, apparently. I mean, it's not that much of a breakthrough. They had the technology before. It's just that they've done it in a way that if you start counting just when you turn the switch on for the lasers, you use less energy to get it started than you got back. If you look at any of the other energy that's been used, then it's still a deficit. And the amount of energy they got back from it is enough to boil 10 kettles. Which yeah.
It's just the first time you do it. And then next time it's 15 kettles. And then it's 20. And pretty soon you could open up your own cafe.
Yeah. But then I thought we were going in the other direction where we're being told to not put as many kettles on. Like did you see the video of Grant Shapps?
Kind of energy. Yes. With that weird elf, I didn't understand that either.
There was a bit where he turned a light off. So that must save all of no money. And then his microwave wasn't even on, but he turned it off at the wall. Clever. And then he unplugged it as well. Like he didn't trust, like the poltergeists are going to go around messing with his switches just to increase his bill. And then after the picture of the lights and the picture of the microwave, and we think this guy's really trying to scrimp. He's on hard times. They honestly show you a picture of his dog, and for a second I thought he's going to flip and eat it. He's eating that. Turns out he didn't eat it. What he did was, oh dear. Him and Elon. Who'd have thought?
Well, there we go. This might be our last show of the year.
Yeah.
We might do one next week. So just stay tuned. Keep an eye on the Twitter feed while it still exists, unless between now and then one of us is put in charge of Twitter, or one of you. Who knows who could be in charge of Twitter by next week? So we'll probably be back soon to recap the year, perhaps.
That's a really good idea if I could remember. Actually, no, I could use... So I'm doing that on 5 Live. I'll plug that at some point as well. But I think it's the 30th, December the 30th. I'm on BBC Radio 5 Live doing my review of the year. But
sounds good.
Yeah, so by then I should know something about it. Right now I can't remember anything that happened. There was a World Cup and I didn't even watch that.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, I think we won.
You did, if you got to see that without the blurring.
There we go. Well, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends, and give us money. And Merry Christmas.
It's all about the money. Yeah, and then we'll do another one whenever we do it.
Oh, if not before. So thank you very much. I messed up our own catchphrase.
We'll do that, if not before, whichever comes first. Brilliant. Till next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.